What's up guys, today I'm gonna talk to you about what's new in PaintStorm 2.47 release. At first I should mention that this release was mostly dedicated to stability improvements, so focus was shifted on bug fixing at first place. I've put the link of all fixed bugs at the description. But if you ask me what that means in human terms, I'll tell you that in my humble opinion general stability was grows up to 10%. Basically for operations in layer panel, like merging, masking, transforming layers and folders. And stability for script recording for base core operations grows up to 70%. There are still a lot issues yet, but developers do his best. So, as you can understood, more time was spent on stability improvements and less for new features. So don't expect too much. Okay, now let's watch what's new. Pick area function was expanded and now works for all brushes with GPU mode turned on. It's really great news. Before it was available only for bristle mode. But in bristle mode, brush do a lot calculations that affect on low hardware. That's why I've never used it in past. But now you can diversify and saturate each your stroke with shades of colors, directly from your canvas with same speed as with usual brush. Just look at that beauty. I really like it. To pick up area colors, go to Define Hotkey menu and bind your own one key. New really awesome feature was added. It calls fast export. It will save a lot of your time. I will have not expected that it will be so long explanation about it, so I decided to put it at the end of this video. By the way, I forgot to mention, left side will be always old version of PaintStorm, right side new. And now let's continue to watch other features. Crop tool finally has been improved. From now it got some pretty good new additional features that will do your work much more easier and pleasant. It should be at first time important for game dev artists. The first one great option is delete mode. That will allow you to keep your file clean in one click, without junks outside canvas that you have gotten in previous versions after cropping operation. That surely is affecting on file size. Just imagine how many actions you should perform to clean all garbages outside the canvas without this option before, especially if you have more than 10 layers. It even sounds like nightmare. Second good thing is automatically fit to selection area. Just remember, when you have tried to crop some object before, you should do it manually. So now it works in few clicks. And in conjunction with fast export, it's really in a wing. It will be useful when you need to export some single object or sprite. Same good for game dev artists. Magnetic binding now works to crop tool too, so it much more faster and easier to get proper cropping area if you do it manually. In next release, magnetic button will be added to crop tool panel to faster activate this mode. Currently, you can do it from move tool place. And last one is that square modification is supported now when you press shift button. Unfortunately, he didn't have time to implement the symmetry transformation too, and all other things. With that I've bothered him. Maybe once in some distant future he will. But anyway, currently he did the most important ones, and it's pretty cool. Respect. As you remember, when you need to flip group of layers which make up the whole entity, before it did it by each layer individually, and you always got broken result. Now this function was improved and take into account general bounding box container for all selected layers. And using hotkeys, you can in one click change direction of whole selected group as one piece. Believe me, it's quite useful thing, especially in game dev. Mixer panel now GPU, which means that brushes will support GPU acceleration now and will work much more faster than previously. Just turn on GPU button for brush. Here is some comparison of my hardware potato, and as you can see, it have instant response in new version. Cool. This ridiculous mouse cursor that you can see at the center of brush stamp was removed, and it will look now same as yours customized cursor. Also, all unnecessary brush buttons was taken off. Before, there was bunch of brushes that was hard binded to the third category. Why the third one? Exactly. I've had the same question, and it was just because there was good mixing brushes on default setting placed. So if you don't know about it, that most likely, and then have shuffled all categories or was created own one on that place, it completely lose any sense. Now it will handle only by your current brush with two modes. First one is exactly how your brushes work. Second one is called blending mode. But it have only one main difference from your current brush. That it automatically put brush color amount to 0 and at the end of the stroke pick it area. That's all difference, and that's it. Now everything is quite simple and obvious. And few additional options was added. First one is automatically undo a stroke in blending mode. Quite useful thing when you don't want to completely turn all into one color muddy mess up. Second option will turn this simple color picker to the picker area mode, and will be useful for those who usually prefer to take area colors than simple one. Or for beginners, because usually they even don't know about this mode at all. So as conclusion, only can say that now it's much more user friendly. Remains only to include brush resize on the fly in the future for full happiness. Before, when you need to put some image into mask, you can do it only in one quite non-obvious way, that even I hard to get this idea, by using texture filling bucket. So that means that you always should capture and create texture of any part or image before filling mask. But it was really time consuming way. No more, because from now you can paste copied image or its selected parts directly inside mask layer. It might be useful for texturing, concepting art or matte painting, or when you need to get precise image or silhouette inside mask and don't want to draw it by hands and spend a lot time to get same effect. For example, as effect like image inside image and so on. So now it's much more easier. Just copy and paste. This function supports 180 and 90 degrees rotation in both directions, horizontal and vertical flips. It physically change orientation of document. Before, to achieve save result, you should use transform tool and even move whole layers to new document. Honestly, I probably have never used this function in Photoshop, but for someone it might be useful. For example, if you just open new document with wrong orientation or before pre-printing preparations. Just imagine, like you are recording script during 6 hours to a row, and now you are really close to finish image, and suddenly electricity failures happens, or PaintStorm crashed. Yeah, probably it will be not the best experience you will get, because before it means that you have lost whole script recording process. So from now, script include auto recovery function. It will create autosave points inside script tempo file, each 1 minute, on case of abrupt interruptions, and restore its script for next time, and you will be able to save it. Now you can easily flip image inside reference panel by using same hotkey as for canvas reverse. Just hover over ref panel and press hotkey, or you can do it from inside panel option. Dev did it like that, but I personally still think that it's overcomplicated, and binary button would be much more simpler and cover all the same. Before, to achieve same result, you should go to the reference document and change direction there, and then came back. But I found these actions quite unnecessary. Many people have asked for it, and I am not exceptions. It's hotkey to fill black and white colors as main and secondary, as it was in Photoshop. Before, you can do it only from color palette menu and assign each color individually, but in this way it eats additional key that you might use for other useful operations, and in general it might be not so handy as supposed to be. So now you can assign it in hotkey menu. But there is more. Dev did really smart and nice addition to it. So, when you press hotkey at first time, it fills black and white colors, and if you not swap colors or do it, but then revert back in initial position, then press hotkey in second time, it will revert back your previous colors. Quite cool. I feel that it should be very handy. So this feature should be useful in general and especially when working with masks. In some past versions, document texture was added, and users started asking how to save PNG file together with background texture at once. And then we realized that commonly users use PNG simply as JPEG replacement, just to preserve image in better quality. And they even don't want to save alpha channel, as usually when people mostly use this file format. So we thinking and decided to give both possibilities at once. And here is how it works. Now, when you turn on bottom texture, no matter what the value it will have on the slider, it will always save with background texture. So, for example, now you can save as only bottom texture only with any level of opacity, or only top one by changing bottom slider to 0 value and turning on top one texture button, or both at once by mixing different values. But at same time, if you need to get only clear object without document texture at all, you can simply turn off all document textures. Or in case, if you need to save PNG with textures that was on top of image, just turn off only bottom texture and you will get proper result too. So that means that user now can achieve almost any result that he need. In past versions, when you need to work with transform tool anchor point, you should always turn it on after program was started, and it was a bit annoying, especially if you need to use it a lot in project. So I propose to enable with memory this function, and now it will remember what mode you have chosen. That frees you from additional useless actions. In 2.46, when you work in some part of canvas and paste anything from buffer that you was copied from somewhere outside of program or from other opened document in the PaintStorm, previous to it always appears at left top corner, and you should leave the place where you are focused, zoom out or walk around and drag the interested piece to the desired location. Always found this process dramatically exciting. Finally, now it's over. As you can see now, it's much more easier stay focused in region of interest during work process. Also, I suggest to dev expand it on usual copy function too. So maybe in some foggy future, usual copy function will acquire with this additional mode, when it will automatically detect where is better to paste result, depending on what part of the canvas you see in that moment. Should be useful. New function hotkey has been added. It's called Fit to Window. It will fit the image without gaps near program borders, and will be pretty useful for users like MI, who more prefer usually work in full screen mode, and for recording the drawing process too. I've asked Dev why he didn't do like that at once, and he explained that main reason was to avoid jumping effect of whole document that you might remember in Photoshop when you switching modes to full screen. Other reason was that typically menus covered borders regions, so these edge gaps was allowed to show more of image information. So we decided that better solution will be to add the third additional mode, and user will choose for themselves which one to use. Nice. The file formats for long file names should be visible now. It's useful in work, especially when you have few same files with different formats, or when you just drop off images with long names and have no idea about their file format. So now it's always there. Cool. From now you can input digit into slider fields with numpad. Indeed, why not? Also, I guess probably it will be useful for those of you who use only external numpad near tablet. Not sure, but should be. Next menus as image resize, canvas resize, and create a new document now will activate input fields by tab key. So you no need to do additional click by stylus inside fields to activate it, and can immediately start input information. It's tiny change, but removes micro action on simple things that can have effect only in long terms. Layer names will be now neatly clipped on the right side. It's tiny change to give more pleasant to view and more orderliness in layer panel. Now inactive menu items in edit and selection menus will be colored to gray and non-pressable if nothing is selected or copied. It should be more clear to not misleading like it was before. Next one was always annoying me, that when I accidentally choose some function that I don't want to use or just on halfway I change my mind, I simply can't leave those menus in one fast action. For liquify, text rasterization, blur and sharpness filters, before you always should precisely aim in and press on the cancel button, losing microseconds just for nothing. Especially for liquify filters it was double frustrating, because you should always continue anyway, just to skip in the next action. Thankfully, it stopped. So now let's talk about new fast export feature. This one of those things that do your life a lot easier. Just trust me, after starting using it you will fast found that don't understand how you lived so long without it before. On daily basis this feature definitely will save a tons of your time in long perspective. Not sure about iPad or same sort tablet users, but for PC users it will be definitely handy. So let's see how it works. At first impression it might looks a bit scary, with so much buttons, as it was for me, but it's quite simple indeed. After you see the basic logical division by groups of all this stuff, you will find it really convenient and ergonomics user friendly. At the beginning you should choose which file format you need. We decided to focus only on two main file formats that might be useful in work. For JPEG you also can choose the compression ratio for the file. At the destination group, you need to select one from proposed option. Asking each time. In some cases might be a good solution, especially if you have used this option rare. Last save path. Will always scan your save actions and export to this path, and even from different documents, so you should take this into account. Just to clarify it, for example, we have two opened documents, and first one you saved in folder A, then decided to save second in folder B, and when you come back to export first one again, it will goes to the folder B too. Next option I propose it to dev and think that it should be really great one. Source file folder means that it will always export all files directly nearby where original file is located now. So you can without worries move project folder anywhere and continue export as always. Good for project oriented work. In case if you just only created file, it proposes you to choose path for first time. Absolute path will export into path bounded chosen path. If all previous option was dynamic and might change path during even one working session, this one is fixed and stable and will never change. In most common cases, this will be probably best solution. For example, when I used similar function through actions in Photoshop, I found it very useful to fast export all stuff to the desktop. So just think and choose optimal solution for you. Next group is naming options. Here is all quite simple. At the top you will see example of what you will get, and all other buttons kinda carriages of the train. Just choose one from drop-down list options to construct best file name. It's only look bulky, but I found it quite ergonomically comfortable, and it gives a lot freedom for naming. These two subgroups have identical functions, only difference between them that first one will name in the whole document, second one proposed for selecting layers. Okay, with this done, let's see what additional options provide for us. Currently it's only 3. First one is like panic condition, and it gives you two options. First one means that in any incomprehensible situation PaintStorm will ask you what to do, and where and how export file. For example, when you choose one digit as prefix and after 9th exports, it will don't know what to do, or like that. So you can choose asking each time, or you can shift responsibility for decision making to PaintStorm, and it will each time rewrite file if it will have same name. In our example, with 9 digits, it means that last 9th file will each time rewrite. Show this panel on first export. Might be helpful, for example, if you work with a lot of files and for each one you need to get individual path location. But it might be annoying, for example, if you use absolute path mostly. So it's depend on tasks. And last one is just will indicates and at once show you exported path directly on canvas. It's useful if you're using fast export only with hotkeys. I'm sure that in next release this group of options will include few more additional, so it might look different in future. Last one group of options is presets. It's very clever to provide us ability to preserve all options, because for different files and projects you might need slightly individual options, and with bunch of buttons here, changing it each time would be definitely difficult, so it's nice touch. We reviewed all settings, and now I should do some important mention about how to call this function. As you can see, here is available Export Now button, and it will be useful only for beginners, for those who use this function very rare or on trying stage, when you at first choose the settings for yourself. But important to say that this button will export only whole document, so you might be a little confused. how to export only layers. For do it, you should go to the layer panel and select from right-click menu option called Export Layer. Also, for both modes, as whole document and layer export, you can assign hotkey individually for each one. My advice will be to use fast export function only from hotkeys. In this case, you will get the best experience with saving tons of times on boring actions. As it says, be smart and do less. Frankly, I requested fast export about few years ago, so I was really excited about it now. In Photoshop, I've often used it by creating some manual actions and binding by hotkey to fast save PNG and JPEG at desktop, and was really attached to it because of usefulness. But PaintStorm realization even much more cooler, more convenient. Believe me, it will be huge time saver when you work daily to be able fast export images by hotkey. Same hell good it should be for animators and game dev artists. And after some small testing, I found that there is a lot thing might be improved significantly. For example, as quick call preset list by hotkey. That will allow you on fly in 2 clicks change any type of presets and file format for any purpose and projects, or export by bounding box container only, and so on. But it will be included yet probably in next releases, and it will be even twice handy that it was now. Also, here is great place for implement hierarchy export too, but it's rare task and mostly need for animators, so it was laid down for far future. And as conclusions, now we get awesome feature. A lot of listed features are really small. I especially selected bunch of smallest one from wishlist just to combine it with main direction of bug fixing, and have some pack of new things too in this current release. So the idea was to not take too much time and effort from dev to implement them, but at the same time to get work for us just a little bit pleasant. So mainly all these things should have effect only on long perspective. All credits on authors that did these beautiful photo and video shots I've used in this demonstration you can find at the description below. So that's just about it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.